Hello everyone, Krydex here, and welcome back to Factorio pYanodon's Season 3, where we're making Sap Tree Mark II. Which I guess we need, wait, that's not gonna work. Just need a different chest. So yeah, in our last episode we got Sap Tree Mark IIs going, and we've got a couple already. It's going to be a long process, but all we need to feed it with is seaweed, urea, bone meal, and ash. Yeah. And biomass. I guess that's a lot of things. Maybe I should have automated this. I don't know. It's not that hard to automate in batches, but it's also kind of annoying. Because, like, if we want a bunch, we have to grab a bunch of seaweed. It's 4 seaweed per sap tree, so that's not that bad. Let me do one more trip, and we'll just let it run. Let's go grab some seaweed. Why don't we? That's down here, right? Nope, that's for Wedgie. Okay, no. Also seaweed. And in this episode, yeah, we're gonna try to keep working through our checklist. I don't know. I haven't added a lot of things to the checklist recently, which I probably need to do. We've been catching up on things and doing old things, but we need to make some forwards progress eventually, like Corlexes and stuff. So let's figure that out. They're queued up. They're gonna be a long time from now, but we can at least start getting some of these things set up. We're working on the cobalt processing as well. So let's see, what does that look like? I mean, the rare earth, pretty much any amount is going to be enough. It's such a tiny amount of mixed ores and cobalt extract. We need to do some investigation and see what's actually necessary to put in the same place and what can we put in different places. Alright, so there's a bunch more seaweed. Urea, it's... what is it? Like 1 urea makes 5 fertilizers, so 1 urea per sap tree. So that's already enough for 140 sap trees. The biomass is the other big issue. We need 8 biomass and 8 ash for every single sap tree. So I do need some more biomass, I guess. Do I have just a big storage of it somewhere nearby? That'd be nice. Okay, that's not right. That's the wrong biomass. As usual. Okay. There's a bunch right over here. Plunk, plunk, plunk. Alright, I think that'll do it. Bio crud. Wait, I guess we need more bio crud. There's no more in here. Okay. Crud. Some not far away. Oh yeah, we've cut all the stuff down here from the AUG processing, all the spoiled lard. We have so much. We've also got a bunch right here. Alright. And maybe I'll grab some bone meal while I'm down here. Yeah, there we go. Infinite sap tree Mark IIs. Okay, not really, but it'll be a lot. It'll be a lot. Can't even fit it all in these chests. I guess one more stack of ash, maybe, just to be sure we have enough. Two stacks maybe. That should be plenty. Cool. Okay, so I can just leave that alone and we'll get Saptree Mark IIs going. Sodium hydroxide trasher and provider station. Now, didn't we already partially do this? I feel like we did. Yes, we are providing it. But we're not... We're still not getting rid of the excess via global trashing. And I think we wanted to because it's a side product in so many things. Gotta get some coffee here. Hydroxide. Wait. No? There's not a million alternative recipes? Oh. Interesting. There's only 2 ways that it even gets made. It's used in a million places. That much is true. But yeah, why would I global trash this? I mean, I guess there's one other place it gets made. But I can just local trash in both places, I think. And I feel like this one would only be if I needed extra. Like I could use slaked lime to make sodium hydroxide, but then put that at a lower priority. Still on channel 1, but that way it's like if we ever ran out of this version, we could then have this version as a backup, but I can't see that being super necessary. Because that uses salt anyway, and we're already using salt to make the saline water. So it's kind of a catch-22. Where am I making all the saline water, by the way? Oh, we're just making it on site. That's right. Forgot about that. Yeah, and we're not loading salt into a train, which I need to do probably soon. I could easily set this up to be a provider station and just belt salt over. Why don't I do that right now, actually? Let's see. Strong side provider extension. Hook this in. Merge. Go ahead and belt over. Like that. And then, yeah, we'll just come over here and belt up. Okay. Easy enough. If I build a couple more bot roboports, then that'll finish. And then this can be salt provide. We need to turn that off. Alright, so salt is now provided in the network with, I think, 0 more modifications. Cool. And then, finally, trasher and provider station. So, now that I'm looking at it, I don't think we actually need that. I feel like I missed something when I was looking at this. For some reason, I thought we got it as a result in a bunch of places. But we don't. There's only 2 things that make it. So I just can't see why we would global trash this. Because there's not going to be tons of sodium hydroxide byproducts all around the train base. There's only going to be... I mean, there might be 1 or 2. There might be 1 or 2. But if I really, really need to, I can always even request sodium hydroxide trash here and just route it to the same place, and we can ditch it all this way. Yeah. How does this have 0 purest nitrogen? Did I not set it up right? Oh, I guess we didn't. I guess we didn't. We need to put the valve in the construction network. Where are those pesky valves? Here we go. And what am I missing? Steel? Steel or circuits? I don't even see circuits. Yeah, it's circuits. Probably iron. No, it's actually not iron this time. Oh gosh. Revamped steel needs to go on the list. So many little things that we need to do. Revamped steel, we need to get bio containers and bio samples on trains. Aromatics on trains. Decalin and cobalt fluoride. What we need to also do is be looking at these things and see where all they're needed, right? Like, how many places is Decalin used? It's used in Flutech and it's used in cytostatics, both of which I already need for this particular recipe. So, in my mind, this is where you start asking yourself, should I just make this all in the same place? Because later, yeah, we need some Moondrop Mark 3s with it, but not, you know, we can just barrel some up or something. So, I'm thinking we make Flutech. EP6. And did I need artificial blood? Flutech makes a bunch of animals for the first time. And then it makes albumin. Biomimetic skin, in vitro meat. Okay, so oh, that's artificial blood. Sorry, artificial blood is used in a bunch of places, so we'll probably want that on trains. Flutech, I don't think we need on trains. Eventually we'll need this GTA thing, but that's a long way down the road. Very long way down the road. So for now, Flutech on trains. So let's set that line up real quick. Let's see, Flutech. Oh, wait. Sorry. No. Am I still saying the wrong thing? Not Flutech. We want artificial blood on the train, not the Flutech. Yeah, artificial blood is directly one of the ingredients for albumin and other things. So we just need artificial blood on trains. Okay. So we need to do add recipe, artificial blood. And then we'll also do potentially, what goes along with that? DNA polymerase, or primers are actually not that bad. Of course, incubated petri dishes are a pain in the butt, but we'll ignore that for now. And DNA polymerase, oh, we already plugged that in right here, even. And Corlex milk, okay, what was microfiber? It's just fiber and hydroxide, okay. Nothing crazy there. So in here we'll need sea sponges, so I could start work on sea sponges. Cytostatics need plasmids. I guess plasmids need to go on trains. Probably, because they're needed in a bunch of different stuff throughout the game. cDNA, Sarcoris, animal sample, cytostatics, growth factor, and then whatever xenogenic cells are and wherever we're needed. So I think plasmids on trains could be good. So let's do plasmids on trains. We'll do artificial blood on trains. So then the artificial blood path needs albumin, which is just blood. And we already have blood on trains. And then Flutec PP6 needs the cobalt fluoride. So this is where we look at cobalt fluoride and see where else it is used. It's used in only a few other things, and that's only Mark IV. And here, it looks like it's actually used consistently in the reproduction of Yadol's Mark II. So we might eventually need some available to the network. And also for whatever that is, YAG laser module. Yttrium, aluminum, garnet, crystal used for solid state lasers. I mean, we might need those automated, but that's purple science level. At that point, we'll have enough logistic spots and fast enough logistic spots. I might just use those to move some cobalt fluoride rather than put it on trains. So for now, cobalt fluoride can exclusively exist in this location. I'm okay with that. Because as far as I can tell, it doesn't, let me double check, but it doesn't go in anything else, right? No, it does not. And then cobalt extract, however, cobalt extract does go in other things. Cobalt extract, I do think we want on trains. It's used in enough places and different enough places, and I know I'll actually need TCl not that far from now. And I even remember needing cobalt sulfate and NiSi. We might need all 4 of those, and even molten stainless steel. Yeah, okay. So cobalt extract is where the buck stops on this one. That'll be a different chain. And there's 3 different recipes for it. Which one do I get first? I get the mixed ores one, and then later I get the cobalt enriched biomass. Where does the other one come from? Oh, that's not really cobalt. That's okay. That's not a recipe, because right there it's actually being used up. We just get half of it back. That's a weird way to say we use a couple, but then get back 1. So we really just used 1. Is all that's saying. Okay, that should fix the problem. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, back to looking at cobalt extract. Or no, cobalt fluoride, rare earth. Okay, all those are going to be on trains for sure. So does the buck stop here? No, Decalin. Decalin. Because Decalin's not used for anything else. That was like the first thing we were looking at, right? Oh, it just means we also need to make cytostatics on site here. I assume I can only do the first one. Cytostatics. Yeah, that one's forever away. Okay, so then... So we also need to add cytostatics to this. Cytostatics... And those are both things that need Decalin. Those should all be on trains. And then Decalin comes from Nexilate, titanium, aromatics, and hydrogen, which should all be on trains. So at this point, we've boiled it down to trains, 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 trains. Maybe trains, maybe not trains. Hydrogen should probably be on trains when I think about it. I don't think I have it on trains yet, though. It's just power. All it is power, but it feels weird to waste it all over the base when I could just train it in. How many It would be a lot of well, okay, no, I'm not needing this many cytostatics. How many cytostatics do I actually need? I need... Okay, and hold on. I need to remove... Now that I have these in another chain... Anyway, cytostatics are 0.004, and artificial blood is 0.186. And I don't even... Does it show up in another place? Or is that it? I think I need artificial blood to, like, make the Corlexes or something, but... I mean, we need tiny amounts of these things for now. I do want to leave room to expand on it later, but, I mean, 0.05 for this, and, like... 5 for that is enough for now. So I maybe don't need to bring this hydrogen in via train, right? Because when you look at it this way, it's like it's such a waste, I think, to bring it in via train when we could just make it on site with one pump jack and one electrolyzer. And then the amount of oxygen is so small. Yeah, until the counts go way up, I just don't think it's worth it. So we'll make that on site. We'll make this on site with a pump jack. Where is that recipe? There we go. Heck, I could even consider aromatics on site? No, probably not. We don't have light oil. Cold water slurry. What is this? This comes from tailings, and we don't have a way to just make tailings anymore, unfortunately. I guess we do. Tar and water. Interesting. I wonder if I should make a big setup for that, where all of our excess tar gets turned into benzene and aromatics. And soot. And saline water. Like, there's a lot, I mean, there's a lot there. That feels like that could be a good project at some point. Tar usage project. Like, if we have extra tar, that's not a bad place to put it. But tailings comes from a lot of other sources too. So I should probably just have a central tailings area. Let me look. Is tailings ever something we're gonna need to primarily produce? Yeah. There will be some things that end up on channel 1 for tailings, but most things are just gonna be channel 3. I think. Just like, hey, we have tailings, let's use it up. But there might be a couple things where I'm like, no, I need tailings for this. Tailings barrel is not used in anything. Okay, so for now, I'm ignoring that. That's not that big of a deal. And this is kind of the build, as it were. All of these things should end up on trains. So for now, I guess we're working on these things going on trains. So glassware, plasmids, and it's 0.3 plasmids too. That's no small amount. And I wonder if plasmids can go with something else, because they're needed in a variety of places. We need them for primers. We don't need him for primers. Oh, there's so much crap here that intertangles. Because we need poor alien samples for green science too. So those should probably be made separately. I don't think I haven't dealt with animal samples yet either. Oh, there's so much stuff. Glassware is needed in a bunch of places. We're definitely going to want to put a lot of this in the same block if we can. Okay. Let me zoom back a little bit. Let me just get primers or plasmids. Plasmids are this. Okay, why don't we put plasmids with DNA polymerase and primers and plasmids, because they're needed in a lot of the same places and they have a lot of overlap. Well, I mean, what do they have a lot of overlap? I guess the overlap is petri dish, lab instrument, glassware. That's a lot of overlap. That's enough overlap that it feels like it's worth making these all in the same place. Do any of them spoil? Hold on. Plasmids we know don't spoil. Does primer spoil? No. Does DNA polymerase spoil? No. Okay, thank God. There's someone watching out for us in the pie world. So tar usage project, that's low priority. We can move that down. I'm gonna check that off because I don't think we need that now. Set up chlorinated water, also long-term, maybe later project. Revamp steel, a little bit higher priority, but still not needed now. Plasmids, we're gonna be doing as part of a big chunk of stuff. So we should rename this to plasmids, primers, polymerase, because that's kind of just a big chunk of all this random crap. Because the primers, they might need to go on trains, plasmids might need to go on trains too, because they're used in a lot of places. They're also used in the cytostatics and in cDNA. We could also make cDNA right here, because we already have retrovirus needed for the polymerase, or the good alien sample, maybe. So there's a lot of overlap in all of these things, so we'll probably want to do them all in the same block. Because plasmids might not be needed. Well, no, this is tricky. I could make all of this in one block, you know, and then I wouldn't need to put plasmids on trains, but so what if we put plasmids on trains? Is it really that big of a deal? Zogna bacteria might need to go on trains. That one's needed in a lot of places. Why don't we do that? Zogna bacteria on trains. So Zogna bacteria counts as what? Random fluids? This is random items, this is random fluids. I don't even know what we're doing anymore. Zogna. Bacteria. Okay, lamps we request, wood we request. This is all just stuff we request. It almost feels like I should make this where I make petri dishes. Because we're already doing that right here. Heck, there's even manure bacteria right here. Why don't we just provide Zogna bacteria right here as well? Yeah. Let's just make some incubators. Okay, I think I want a separate... For anything biological, I want a separate one. So incubator, bot nurse, and microorganism mine. We'll put here. Incubator, botanical nursery, and microorganism mine. We'll put there. Because I think that just... We already have a lot of buildings in this category. I don't need more. Okay. So that's going, and then we'll go set that up real quick. Zogna bacteria on trains. And then sponges, sea sponges. I'm excited about sea sponges. So let's get those plugged in. Oh, by the way, I looked into the fish. I was curious last night, so I looked into the fish turd a bit more. Like, I actually set them up in Helmod. And here's my conclusion. The, what's it called? The one here, dosing pumps, sucks. I thought it was going to be really good. It looks nice on paper, but it turns out the amount of fish eggs you need per fish is pretty small. Like if you're looking at these final recipes, 1 egg already makes 4 fish. So when you're going down from 45 to 36 eggs, that's 9 fewer eggs, which represents 36 fish you could have made. Right? That's an entire recipe of this. So well, another way to say it is you don't need that many of these recipes to make the fish you need. Right? Like you're making way more of these recipes, and then you only need to run this one once every 4 times. And because of that, the actual, like if you're trying to produce a bunch of hydrolysate or fish emulsion or whatever, you don't actually need that many egg recipes to run. And so it turns out this bonus amount is only like 5 or 10% more, which is really not that great. So this one is much better. This sextuples your hydrolysate output, and hydrolysate is what creates the fish meal and fish emulsion anyway. So you're getting all of the products from hydrolysate. So all that to say, this one is pretty competitive. However, hydrolysate doesn't have that many uses in the first place. So that may not be... Anyway, the fish food one might just be the one we go with. It's super nice, and it gives fish food to other products too, because we start getting fish food out. So I'm guessing we're gonna go with the fish food one. It feels like the simplest one. This one could be nice though, because it's a way to turn ammonia into cyanic, but we kind of already have that with coal and methane, so it doesn't feel that needed. Heck, we even get one to turn meat into cyanic later, which is not terrible if we have a bunch of extra meat. So I'm not really sure that the other one is that useful, because fish hydrolysate is only used in a turd version of manure bacteria, and you can make fertilizer out of it, but we already have so many ways to make fertilizer. Anyway, I don't really think that's going to be important. Tons of ways to make fertilizer, and barreled fish hydrolysate is used for Corlex pups. But Corlex pups are not used in the normal... Like, Corlexes don't get rendered, I don't think. Yeah, they don't have anything unique. So there's no reason that we need caged Corlexes. Corlices? No, that doesn't sound right. Corlexes. So because of that, I don't think buffing fish hydrolysate a ton is that useful. And the fish emulsion, I don't think was used. Let's see, fish meal is used later in deluxe workers food, so that's one reason why you might want it, because you'd get more fish meal. I'm sure at that stage of the game though, there's a lot of other stuff going on. Fish emulsion barrels are also used in the later versions of Corlex pups. So yeah, I guess if you're mass producing Corlex, but again, what's the point of this? Because Corlex pups only go into growing up into Corlex, and I doubt we're going to be mass rendering Corlex, because we could do ABS instead or something. Maybe we find out Corlexes are cheaper, and then the fish input of Corlexes would be even cheaper if we went with that second turd. But honestly, the fish input is cheaper if we go with the fish food, because fish food's a pretty expensive part of fish, and just removing that cost entirely seems really nice. Anyway, while we travel, let's get Sea Sponge set up here. Oh, I haven't even researched? I thought we did research it. Shoot. Shoot. So many freaking researches. Okay, I'll do that one, and then I'll do Corlex. Because that needs light... Oh, wait, what's missing? The propane. And then oil sands. We are... Man, research is actually starting to hold us back, believe it or not. I don't think it's gonna matter. I think we'll find enough things that we need to do that will be okay. But it might come down to the wire. This one's an expensive one. This cobalt processing. I mean, it's gonna take 2 hours just for this research to finish. Huh. I'm wondering if my recommendation to new players might be to make more than 0.1 of pY science. It wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world to double this. I mean, at this point, I just need more substrate, so I probably could boost it pretty easily. This isn't that hard. So I might look into that in a little bit. Let me grab the incubators. If I can find them. There's 4, I would like a 5th. There we go. Okay, and then we'll head over to these guys. Add them in. Get Zogna bacteria on trains. So we need to import wood. Well, let's see. Let's just send them up. Zinc mine. I don't think we're going to care too much about that. Okay, Zogna. So pressurized air is free, so we need wood and lamps to be import. Can we handle 4 requests? Not quite. You know what I haven't done before, but now I'm thinking is not a crazy idea. 5, 6. Each one is 12 squares. So I can just do this to make it big enough for 4 items. Just like that. Okay. I don't know why I hadn't considered that before. I've always been making it a 2x6, but I could just make it a 1x8 or something to get a little bit more space out of it. Wood, 21 stacks. Wait, we've got 30 and 21. So that's 51, 72, and... $92. That should be fine still. We have 96. Should I be requesting that many lamps? That feels a bit lamp hungry. But at the same time, who cares? We have... I mean, why am I not letting lamps buffer to an entire chest full anyway? Like, lamps are so cheap. We made better glass even. We have good glass and good iron. We've got all the glass. Yeah. Okay. We're fine. So then I will get a multi-quest. Oh, should have hit that first. Wood and what's the other thing? Lamps. It takes a surprising amount of time to unload a train even with 2 loaders. I mean, that's 30 items a second, but I guess if it has 2,000 items, that's a significant amount. So we will need to switch at some point to the red loaders or more loaders once train loading speeds become relevant. They're not super relevant right now, so I'm not too worried about it. But there's wood and lamp, and then petri dish. Now here's the real question. Am I going to be producing petri dishes in other places? No, there's no alternative recipes for it even. So this is not something I'm going to have in a bunch of places. So this is a decent spot for it. Okay, and then I'll do an undergroundy. Just go every other building here. Okay, why don't we set them all up, Krydex, and then we'll do the other thing. I get so obsessed with doing one thing at a time. And we'll have this belt, and then this belt has an input of 1.2 items a second. So we actually need yellow inserter. Then I should be able to copy that. This one on the end, though, will be a one-way. So we don't end up interfering with other fluids in the future. Finally, do we have pressure pumps? We do. Will one of these be enough? 50 a second, 200 a second. Sure will. So that's done. Okay. That should be it. For Zogna bacteria. There we go. And who knows, we may need to expand this build later. For now, this is going to be more than enough, I would guess. But we'll have to keep an eye on it. And then get a storage tank hooked up to the same system. Now that I look at this, it's probably better to have T-junction up, over, go through here, and which one do we plug into? Okay, this one's Zogna bacteria is here. Of course, it can't go where it needs to go. So it'll go up, down, over, and plug in. A bit convoluted, but there we go. Zogna bacteria is now hooked up to the network. And this system makes petri dishes for trains and for Zogna. Perfect. And is there a reason I'm doing, like, why am I doing this? Just let it go. Buffer all the petri dishes. You know what I mean? Like, these are not expensive things. I have seaweed, I have glass. Why would I not get a full buffer? Full buffers are helpful because of the inconsistency of train requests, right? Like sometimes 2 trains request things, or 3 in a row, even though the average rate is a lot lower than that. So by having full buffers, we prevent some issues from looking like they exist when they don't. However, full buffer, now some of you are like, wait, no, buffers do the opposite. Buffers create lies where you think your system can handle a throughput when it can't. And it's like, yes and no. Buffers just kick the can down the road if your throughput's not enough, but they don't prevent it from like occurring. You'll still have the issue, It'll just be later. And the nice thing about Pi is that sometimes the later is like 20 hours later. You know, if you've buffered up a bunch and the thing that's consuming is only slightly faster than your production, it might take 20 hours before that becomes a problem because of your buffer. And in that 20 hours, you've finished a lot of other stuff that might end up helping, you know, or reducing the stress of that thing running out. So Pi is one of those situations where I actually don't think buffering large amounts of things is the worst idea. Oftentimes, it might not make a difference and you still end up needing to increase production eventually anyway, but who knows, by that time you might have access to a new module, or you might have access to a new beacon, or a new tier of building, you know, or a new belt, or a new inserter, or a new type of power that makes the power cost less. Whatever it is, kicking the can down the road is more helpful in Pi than it is in most other cases. So I don't actually think buffering is the devil in this mod pack. All right, well, we got Zogna bacteria on trains, and I think that's a pretty good place to stop. Let's plan out sea sponges first, though, because I was kind of interested in that. So we'll get the sea sponges plugged in here first. Sea spongy. I will need a look, though. I don't know what the beginning recipes are. So we get 1 sea sponge to 2 sprouts. Hey, look, Zogna bacteria. I didn't even mean for that. We were doing Zogna bacteria for something else, weren't we? I think so. And we get, first of all, the codex should be no problem. Oh, Zypho is included in this recipe too, or in this research? Interesting. That's new. Wow. Well, we're focusing on sea sponges for now. And the sea sponge culture, which is the building, is stuff we can afford. Okay. So anyway, it's just Zogna bacteria and muddy sludge. That's it. And it just takes time. And we eventually get sea sponges out. The first sea sponges are just basic poor alien sample, biosample, cDNA. So that's easy. So then this loop, we just need to find the basic one, and we want the output to be, I think, regular sponges. I don't think the sprouts, oh, they decay in only 16 minutes nonetheless into quartz. Oh, fun. Fun. So we'll have a trash output of quartz is what we are seeing here. How many do we need for Pi Science? 0.004. Not very many. Not very many at all. Okay, so we'll probably make this, what, 0.4? And this needs to be 200%. Because half of them go back into recycling. So for 0.4 out, that would be 56 sponge cultures. That still feels like too big. 0.3? 0.2. Okay, this is starting to feel more possible. And then the muddy sludge, small enough amount. We'll just make it on site. Pump jack. The reason I want to plug in the pump jack is because then if we do our new special, where's the button for it? where's the button? Where's our new magic button? I don't know. The smart pipette. I think it's here somewhere too, but this magic button. And then we can just request it all. And that way these things all get included. So yeah, mostly sponge cultures. We do get some output saline water, which is kind of nice, for free. So that's cool. It does use a lot of Zogna bacteria, but that's fine. We just set that up. So yeah, why don't I swear I saw the smart pipette button somewhere here, too. But maybe not. Maybe it's only in the pin menu? Oh, it's right there. You just click on that. Got it. Okay, so we can take that and plug it into our bot mall in one of these. And I can just plop it there. And then, oh, it's beautiful. It works. Now, hopefully the buildings aren't going to try to make the buildings we can't make yet. Yeah, at some point when we finish this research, they'll start to make the sponge cultures, which is pretty expensive, to be honest. So I'm glad we have that automated. And we don't need the sponges either. Nor can we make them. Okay. Cool. That's all set up. Agar's going ham. How much seaweed? That uses 4 seaweed a second. How much seaweed are we making? Do I need to increase seaweed production? I do have 10 a second. I think we're okay. When do we get seaweed Mark II? I think it was a long time from now, right? No. Not really. Depends on how hard Mo 3 is to make. MO03 is disulfide and oxygen. Disulfide is molybdenum pulp and filtration media. Molybdenum pulp is concentrate and water. Concentrate is molybdenite pulp and nitrogen, which is molybdenite dust, which is powder in the ball mill. I like that powder in the ball mill always makes dust, and then powder comes from ore crushing usually. So it goes ore powder, ore to powder to dust. So that's not too hard. Nitrogen's the only additional input in all of that, right? I guess a filtration media is needed. Okay. So we're not that far from molybdenum being a thing either, which then we can do seaweed stage 2. All right, well, I don't need that right now, but that's on the list for eventually. Cool. Okay, well, we'll call it an episode there, and then in the next one, we'll start working on the artificial blood setup. Although we're missing a lot of pieces, but that's fine. And yeah, as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next one.